Hey guys, welcome back to my crafting world. This is Anna. So I had this on my to-do list since last year and it just didn't get did. Okay, so this is a treat box that I have made for Halloween, and since I made the pink Halloween banner, I thought I would make this one in pink as well. So let me show you what I've done. So I put this ruffled trim all the way around the coffin, a row of bling or half back pearls on the top of the ruffled trim. I use a seam binding to make a bow, and I put a flower right in the center. And then these flowers were given to me in a swap, so they're purple and they matched very well, so I went ahead and put those there. And I put little flowers here and there, and I tucked in some pearls, and there's another flower here. And then I went ahead and put these bling pieces, the black ones, just to make it a little more Halloweenish. And this little stick pin was given to me last year in a swap, so I put him right there. I've glued him down. I put a little cluster of flowers with a pearl right at the bottom. And these little things, these were given to me in a swap. It's a little jar, and these are little glass round beads. So all I did was put a glob of glue on there and then poured some of those glass beads on there, and I really like that. So I did the same around the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, just to make it stand out a little bit more. And I put another cluster down here at the bottom, and that's about all I did to it on the top. So on the sides, I went ahead and lined the sides with the skull paper, and this is a recollections paper from last year, the Pinkaboo paper pad. So I put a pink and gold trim at the bottom. This does open this way, and there we go. That is the coffin, and it's a good size, guys, 8.5 by 6. And I went ahead and lined the inside with this beautiful pumpkin paper that comes from the same paper pad. And then on the inside, I just put another little Let's Get Wicked. I would fussy cut this out of one of the pages along with the little skull. Put some half back pearls on here, and then I went ahead and put a couple of those black gems there, and another small cluster of flowers, another seam binding bow with a flower right in the center. And there, yeah, I mean, it's really easy to do. And these you do kind of have to bring out a little bit so it doesn't get caught on the side of the box. But there we go, it stands up on its own, and I just love the way it turned out. So guys, I'm going to show you how to make this. It's really simple. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So let's make a template first, because you will need the template. So take, I did mine on chipboard, and this is of course 8.5 by 6. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to, on the top side, you want to mark 1 3/4 from the top. Okay, so there's my ruler. Get my pencil. So 1 3/4 is right here. Okay, and then 1 3/4 from the other side is right here. Okay, there we go. So we've got those two marked, and then on the side right here, you want to mark 3 inches right here, and then 3 inches on the other side. And on the bottom of the paper, you want to mark the same 1 3/4 inch from either side. So 1 3/4, 1 3/4. So we have all 4 edges marked with 3 inches on each side here, and then 1 3/4 on each side here. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your ruler and you're going to join those two corners. Okay, there's that one. So you do it on all 4 sides. You join those marks to create your coffin there, and then from this mark to this mark. Okay, and there is your coffin, guys. Super easy. And all you do, of course, is take your scissors and you cut it out. But like I said, I've already made my coffin, my template, so this would have become my template. Okay, there you go. Easy peasy on the template. Okay, now, so you're going to need to cut 4 of these. You're going to take your template, you're going to trace it onto your black cardstock, or whatever cardstock whatever color you're going to use. You're going to trace this and you're going to cut 2 that are exactly this size. So you need 2 more. You need 2 for the top, 2 for the bottom. Okay, I've already cut 1 to save time. And then so all you do is you trace your template onto your cardstock. Okay, so the first 2 you cut out exactly as you traced. Okay, so the next 2 you're going to cut out, you're going to cut it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to use my paper trimmer just because I'm not good at cutting straight. So you're going to line up your line here, and sorry guys, I can't see that pencil line. And you're going to cut inside. You're going to cut inside that trace line. So you're going to cut about 1/8 of an inch. I'll show you here in a little bit. So there is 1/8 of an inch inside my trace line, which is right there, guys. Hopefully you can see that. Here's my trace line and here's my cut line. So you're going to cut to the left of your trace line, and you're going to do that on all sides, not just the trace lines, but so don't forget to do the one at the bottom as well. So let me cut these, and these become, I'm sorry guys, I have to bring this up because I cannot see that line. So hopefully you can see, maybe not, but there is my trace line. If I put this down, this is to the left of my trace line, about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so this is how much I've cut off from that line. So let me cut the rest. Okay, so you need 2 of these smaller pieces. So I have my 2 smaller pieces. Now, the next thing you're going to need is, this is 12 by 12 paper. If you have 12 by 12, you only need 2 of these strips. If you have 8.5 by 11, you're going to need 3 strips. So these are 2.5 by 12, and I'll verify that with you. Yep, 2.5 and then 12 inches. And you are going to score at 1/2 inch on the short side. Okay, and you need 2 of these strips. Okay, so now you're going to take one of your bigger, one of your original size coffin mats. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and join these 2 because I found it a bit easier to do that way. I'm going to take my original size coffin. Okay, this is not the one that's cut down by 1/8 of an inch. And I'm going to put a little check mark right there, and I'm going to put a little check mark right here. So I know that this is the side that I'm starting on, and I don't want my joint right at a corner. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to butt it up against this strip that we just made, and I am going to put a small mark, butt it up against that. It doesn't really matter what edge you start at, or how far in the center, but that's just where I wanted to start. So this little corner right here of the coffin, I'm going to put a little mark right there, okay? So that is the little corner of my coffin. Now what I'm going to do next, I'm going to set this aside for a second. I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and I am going to score that little mark. So I'm going to line this up on my scoreboard, and there's my little tick mark, and I am going to score that right there, okay? Right there, okay? So we know that's where our first fold is going to be at, okay? So that is my first fold right there. That's where my paper is going to curve. Now you're going to take this little corner, you're going to place it right, and this one I do like to fold just because it gives me a more accurate crease line for the next one. So I'm going to put my little corner right here, right in the center of this crease mark, okay? Right in the center, okay? Now you don't want to keep going because it does change a little bit as you go down. That's why you have to do them one at a time. So I'm gonna bring it this way, a little corner right at that score mark, right at the fold, and I'm going to put another little mark right here, right at the next corner, okay, right at the next fold. I'm gonna bring in my scoreboard, and I am going to put it on a groove, and I am going to go ahead and score that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and fold it. Okay, and I am going to do the same on the next. So we've got this one right here, this one right here. We're down here at the bottom. So you're gonna go all the way around your coffin, doing this at each little point there, okay? So bring in the scoreboard, score that right there in the middle. And why do I fold? Because I found it better to fold it than do them all at once. Because if I did them all at once without folding, for some reason it didn't come out right. So there's that one. Okay, now I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna keep turning my coffin until I get to the other end. So the next thing we need to do, we've already, you know, scored and marked all of our points here. So we're going to keep this right here. I am going to move this along with my ruler. It's getting in my way. And I'm going to go ahead and burnish this or fold it. So we have already folded that. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is we need to go back to each fold line and fold it, and we're going to cut a wedge out just like that on each of those fold lines. Okay, do not go past your score mark, up to the score mark, but don't go past your score mark. Now at this point you can either use glue or you can use your double-sided tape. I am going to use glue just because it helps me it helps me move it a little bit if I need to make some adjustment. Okay, so this is the side with the check mark, so I know I'm going to start right here. Okay, so I'm going to put glue at the bottom of this tab right here, and I am going to glue it right to the corner. Okay, I'm going to glue that like that all the way around. Like I said, you can use double-sided tape, but I found it easier to go ahead and use glue because you can move your piece around just a little bit. So this is going to go right on that corner right there. Okay, so but I need to put it down. actually, let me turn it this way and put it right at that corner without going over your fold line, because I'll show you here in just a little bit. Let this adhere down for a little bit. Okay, now if you can tell right there, it's right on that corner. Okay, your score mark didn't go over, you're right at the corner. Now you want to make sure this adheres very well before you go on to your next one, because you don't want it to move around on you. Okay, so I think that's down pretty good. Now the next one, I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the next tab. And I'm going to put that one down, and see how the corners are going to just naturally turn for you. But you want to make sure that you don't go over that score mark and everything, you know, your two pieces are flush. And it's a little harder for me to do this way because I can't put my head in there. But there's that one. I think it's down pretty good. And we are going to continue to glue all the way around. Okay, so let me put glue on the next tab, and make sure you go one tab at a time so that you can get it nice and straight onto your coffin base. Okay guys, we have come to our last flap, and this one's gonna go inward, and it's gonna glue on top of this one. So it's gonna be off just a smidge, which is the thickness of the cardstock. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just remove that little tiny smidge, okay? Just so it'll match on the height, okay? So it goes this way right here, okay? So let me go ahead and put glue on that. And I am going to put glue on, let me see, up to about right here, okay? Here we go. Pull this up, in, and down. Okay. And it's right at the edge. Okay, so now you're going to take one of the pieces that you had cut slightly smaller, and that becomes your inside piece to cover up those tabs. So all I'm going to do here, and you know, you can actually do it with you can do it with your pattern paper, but this just adds stability to your project, to your box here. Okay, I'm going to put this in right here, and since it's cut just a little bit smaller, it fits nicely. The bottom is finished. Okay, now we're going to set this aside. We're going to work on the lid. The lid is almost the same. Okay, so this is 1.5 inch wide by 12 inches long, and again, if you have 11.5 inch paper or 8.5 by 11 inch paper, you're going to need 3 strips, but for this one I only needed 2. So again, I'm going to join the 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the same. I'm going to put a little pencil mark so I know this is my start. You probably don't have to do that, but I do. Okay, so that's where I'm going to start, and I'm going to mark my corner. I'm going to score it. Okay, so this is my last crease here, my last fold. So I'm going to remove this. Now we're going to go in there and we're going to make the cuts again, the darts. So my glue needs to be on the bottom here. So I am going to start off, I'm going to flip this over and put this right there, right at the crease, just like the other one. Okay guys, there is the lid to our coffin. Let's bring this back in. Now it looks like I was off just a little bit right here. And then of course, if you're off, it will cause the rest to be off as well. That's why you want to be as precise as you can. So I'm not going to worry about it because, you know, we can always cover that up with, you know, some kind of embellishment or whatever. So now if we were to put our box together, it would fit something's going to buckle because it is so close to, you know, it's the same size. So if I put it together, and you'll see that this buckles, okay? But we need it that snug because what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and make the hinge for this, okay? So to make the hinge, if you want your box to open this way, you're going to make the hinge on this side. If you want it to open this way, you're going to make the hinge on this side. So I want this one to open like the other one does. So it's going to open this way. So what you're going to do is you are going to take your scissors and you are going to cut right here, just to the left of that corner, okay? Just to the left of that corner. Not by much, just to the left, okay? You're going to cut up to the lid part, okay? And you're going to do the same on the other side. On this side, you're going to cut just to the right of that fold, okay? Up to the lid part, okay? This is now our hinge. So what I'm going to do here is what I did on this one. I went ahead and cut a wedge this way so it's a little easier to open and close. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same to this one. I am going to go ahead and cut a wedge right there. How far you cut it is up to you. I wouldn't cut it too far, but for me that was good. And on this one as well, I'm going to cut up to that corner right there where I just released this tab on. Now we're going to put it in here, and it will, you know, releasing those have, you know, given us enough space to where it doesn't buckle, okay? So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to open this. I'm going to leave this closed. I'm going to put glue all along the inside of this piece right here. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this down, and we're going to hold it there just for a little bit, and we're going to let it tack before we open this. Okay, so I feel like it's kind of tacked down, you know, in places, maybe not all of it. I'm going to go ahead and open it up carefully so I don't remove that hinge from where it's at. Okay, now I need to burnish that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold it partly open, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish that gently. There we go. So I think that is on there pretty good. At this point, I'm going to take my next mat that I had cut smaller than the lid and the bottom, and I'm going to glue that down so it will provide a nice finished look. Okay, I put glue on the back of my matting piece, and I am going to put this down, making sure not to go over my fold line. So I'm bringing it up against this side. When it's nice and finished from the inside as well. And like I said, you can use your pattern paper to do this, but I like how sturdy it turns out with another layer on there. Therefore, I went ahead and did the same black. There we go, guys. It is finished. Remember, when you close it, just bring these out a little bit, and there is your box, guys. Nice. It's like I said, once you get your template made, it is, I mean, easy, fast. And now all you have to do is decorate. What I'm going to do for this one is I am going to use, excuse me, this that I have from last year. This is another Recollections paper pad Halloween. So for my mats, guys, I'm going to do the same thing for my mats that I did for the inside of the box. Okay, I'm going to trace my template. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper and I'm going to trace it onto here, and then I'm going to cut inside the line just like I did with and I'm going to trace it on the back so I don't have any pencil lines, or you know, I don't have to worry, it's easier to see. So, and I'm just going to cut inside that line about right here, just so it'll fit. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer just because for me it's easier. So I'm going to cut these at 1/8, about 1/8 of an inch inside that pencil mark. This goes on the inside, but I just want to show you that it cuts out pretty good. Just guesstimate, and it turns out pretty good. So I'm going to continue to cut panels or mats for the inside and outside. I'm going to cut these strips. Now on the other one, I did paper the inside, but I did not paper this part, the top part, because then your box becomes kind of hard to close because it's such a tight squeeze. So you can, I didn't want to chance it. You can if you want to and paper this top. I didn't do it because I think it'll become too tight to close properly, or you know, because it's already a snug fit. So that's why I didn't do that top part. You can do the inside and it'll add strength to it, but for the outside, I'm not going to do it. So this is 1 inch, this is 1 inch. I'm cutting my strips at probably 3/4 of an inch to 7/8 of an inch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut the outside and cut the inside, and I will show you how it turns out. All right, guys, I have finished papering the coffin, and yeah, this is how it turned out. After I started putting everything down, I figured, man, I should have used a more solid background, but I didn't. So I was trying to hurry up so I can finish this video. So what I did was I made a bow right here, a double bow with spider web on it. And then this bone, of course, I made last year out of air dry clay. And then this says rattle your bones. So the yellow lettering was part of a swap that from the embellishment boxes from last year. And I had this spider ring, so I just cut off the back, put the spider on there, put this black spider on there, put these sequins. They have sticky backs on them, so I just put some here and there. And I have this one also from last year. Everything, of course, was from last year. The tree, I die cut the tree in like an antique gold glitter paper. So I had tons of eyeballs last year, guys. So I made me an eyeball tree. So here's a couple that have fallen down off the tree. And yeah, I just thought that was kind of cute. Creepy, but cute. Hey, but that's Halloween. Okay. So I went ahead and papered the sides. And this one, of course, I didn't separate the two strips. I just did one whole strip right there. And then the back has the same as the front. And then on the inside, when you open it up, I did put this little skeleton guy right in the center there because, I mean, it's a coffin. So I did put him down with E6000, so he's not going to go anywhere. And then this guy over here, he's in a little, looks like a little medicine bottle. And this guy, I backed him with some black glitter paper. And then I took some of the eyeballs out of the plastic and I glued them in his eye sockets. And that's what I did for this one, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really easy to make. Once you get, like I said, you get your template made, it is so super easy. So there's a pink one and there is a traditional Halloween one. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. I appreciate each of you watching and seeing me through. Thanks a lot, guys. Y'all have a great, great day. Thanks for watching.